Hey everyone, Vanessa here with Visalia Talks, your local talk show that brings you everything you need to know about what's going on right here in our community. And right now we have with us Ivory Easley, and he is the garment guy. How are you, Ivory?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. Now, the garment guy. So what are we doing?
So the Garment Guy is a business I started last year, July 18th to be exact. Had about, I would say, 8 to 9 years of experience in general as far as clothing. I lost my job in May, so I kind of was sitting idle for a few months. Like, what can
Hold
I do?
on. Pause, time out. I lost my job in May. I had a business started in July. Let's let that be a lesson to everybody, okay? Just because you lose your job, just because something happens, life isn't over.
Yeah, life is
Get
going
up, figure it out, and get on.
100%.
Yes, I love that. Okay.
So, yeah, I was a senior tech at Valvoline for a couple years. Lost that job, sat idle for a little bit, went back to the drawing boards. I had some life savings saved up, so I spent some money on some machines. No experience. All I knew was how to make clothes. My only experience with that was just knowing how to design.
Okay.
So I had to kind of switch my mindset from the things I knew to actually being the guy producing
Yes.
the garments, right? So that was the start. And July 18th, I just bought a machine and was like, I'm gonna start with embroidery because I actually already had a heat press in April, but I wasn't really doing too much with it until I lost my job. Then I was like, okay, cool. Bought another machine. From there, it was kind of like a bunch of friends were just hitting me up like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you make me some beanies? Hey, can you make me some hoodies? From there, I told my girl, I was like, I think I might have something here.
Yeah.
You know, and she's just like, well, go for it. I'm like, all right, cool beans. So I bought another machine. I bought another embroidery machine to be exact. So those were the machines I was buying. Spent quite a pretty penny, I would say, on all my equipment. But to this day, I was telling Kimberly out front before I came in here, it's things that you have to accept prior to being an entrepreneur. You know, so you might not always have sales. You might not always have money coming in. You might not have, the good times all the time, but you have to accept those things prior to saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. And so I made that decision and I've been rocking out ever since. Like I said, I lost a job and just spent my life savings. I'm here now.
I love it.
And we're going to keep going.
Yes.
I've been blessed. I've been fortunate. This summer was pretty wicked because I just didn't know what to expect as someone in this field. I was only familiar with making clothes. That's it. I wasn't familiar with selling a service or being the person providing the service. I wasn't familiar with any of that. So summer came around and it got extremely slow. It was really unfortunate, but I think it was just a test of, how bad do you want to be within this field? How bad do you want to be successful within this field? Because there's goods and bads with it. And that was my first summer. So took it on the chin and we're rocking out, and business has just picked back up. My winters are amazing because I do a lot of hoodies. I do a lot of heavyweight garments, and I do a lot of winter and fall wear. So we're rocking and rolling now. I mean, we made it through the storm is what I like to think.
I love it. And only a year in, and you've already made it through the storm. Right. People don't get through their storm for like the first 5 years in business. Sometimes, a lot of times. Right. Yeah.
I like to say I'm still kind of like in the midst of it. But there's been better days,
That's good.
And then, like I said, it's like my busy season is winter, so I'm definitely gearing up to just go 120% in this next few months and just push out as much inventory and offer my services to as many people as I can. That's the goal, honestly. And just being consistent with social media. That was a big thing for me because I've never been an internet person. I've never been like, hey, let's just set these cameras up and just document our life. But that's essentially what people love to see and want to see, and they want to support. That is what I'm learning as well. So I'm now that guy where I'm trying to pop out a tripod everywhere I'm at because it's authentic.
Yeah, I think I saw one in your bag even.
Yeah, I take it everywhere.
Take it everywhere with you. I love that.
But it was a habit that I had to build, and actually, I still have some times where I'm like, I haven't posted for 3 days. Okay, I have to go shoot content for the next week, you know. And now I'm at the point where I have like 30 to 40 drafts saved a week. I might not even post it. I apologize. I thought I put my phone on silent. I might have 30 to 40 drafts a week now at this point in my Instagram app or TikTok at any moment, because I'm just always shooting no matter what. And my setup is literally in my kitchen in my apartment. So I set my tripod up and I just go to work. And anything outside of that I'm doing, whether it's driving to City Hall to renew my business tax license.
You're filming that too. Yeah, I love that. It's part of the process.
Right. Now I want to actually show other entrepreneurs like, hey, I'm not like too far along where you guys are at, but you can do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular person that was working full time, just like you were, or just like you are. But whatever your idea is, just go do it.
Run with it. Yes.
I didn't have a job when I did it, so I didn't have like a safety blanket. Like, let me go do this, and if it doesn't work out, then I have this.
You had to make it work.
Yeah, that was my only option. And I do have my son now. He just got here in March. He's 7 months.
Oh, congratulations.
And I have my 8-year-old. She's everything. My son, obviously, he's the best, but like, this is my daughter. She's everything to me. My son, everything to me. But
she's speaking on things.
Right. Those kids had to have what they needed, right?
Absolutely.
So like, I didn't have that's all I had was that thought process and, you know, an idea. And I think everything starts with that. That's it. An idea and a thought. And the rest,
and it's up to you to turn it into reality.
The rest after that is up to the person that, you know, perceive those thoughts and ideas, whether you take action or not. That's completely, you know, that ball's in that person's court.
Absolutely.
And the only difference is I just chose to take action on the ideas that I had.
It's all about the choices we made. It's all about those choices. 100%. You made the choice to do it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's basically how I got here. I just took a shot on something that I was interested in. And honestly, like, I had been doing it for so long, I just had to really understand how to go from just making clothes to sell to selling a service
to the business side of it.
To the business side of it.
Yes. First, you figured out the worker bee side of it. Now you got to go to the business side of it.
And that's the part I'm still learning. You know, I'm still learning about taxes and how taxes are applied in different states. And my CPA was when I filed. She told me, she's like, it's going to be an expensive lesson for you, huh? Yeah, definitely. But those are things right there that can scare somebody away and not want to even have anything to do with being an entrepreneur in general. Especially after spending basically your life savings, and then you file taxes, and then
they want more.
Like, hey, guess what? You owe this amount, and you're like, all right, cool, whatever. And that's kind of person I kind of like to try to carry myself as, is like, all right, this is a problem. Cool. What's the solution?
Exactly.
You know, like, the problem's already there. You can't really do much about it.
You got to deal with it. No matter what, you're going to have to deal with it. Whether you complain or you take it gracefully. So you might as well be graceful 100%. About it.
So that was that approach with that. Whenever I got smacked in the face with taxes, that was, like I said, a learning lesson in itself. And it's always something to be learned. I think when you're in some field that you're unfamiliar with, then you're learning every day. And as long as you can take that and give yourself grace, then you're going to be okay. Because, like, I'm human, right? Like, I have those days where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can make it through this. But, you know, just keep your faith, bro, and just rock out, man, and lean on what got you started.
Yes.
You know, whatever got you to where you're at, just lean on that and keep that why front of mind. And
I was just going to say, remember your why.
Right. And for me, it's like, I didn't have, you know, my mom or dad. So, like, I like to tell myself, like, these kids will have mom and dad and everything they need, right? So, like, for me, those are my whys. So not everyone's why might be as, I guess, powerful as some other people's to keep them going through some unquestionable times. But For myself, I can say my why is, I'm also self-driven. So, like, I'll figure out what I got to figure out to continue going. That's kind of how I'm wired. Uh, there's always bad days. There's always days where, things look gloomy. But on the other side of that, I like to tell myself all the time is on the other side of obstacles is opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what this is too. This says next opportunity.
Ooh.
Because
is that like your brand?
Yeah, that's something I'm actually building out while I run my business. Is a clothing brand called No.
No.
And it's called Next Opportunity.
Love it.
Abbreviated No. Just for the people that. Well, I like the what is it? The slogan for it is every no leads you to your next opportunity.
Yes.
And so for me, I can say I've been rejected quite a lot in life, but I don't think I've ever allowed it to dictate anything of like my actions. So that's that for me. That's what that represents. Right? Is just being the yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I like to think of myself. Like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna have any shame or any kind of judgment for someone that told me no or rejected me, but I am gonna go dissect my why on why they told me no, right? Like, and I will be better in that. I like to use this example because this is actually something that actually happened when I first got into the garment business. I went to someone that before I did embroidery, I went to this guy in LA that makes these super cool patches, and I had a piece of paper with something that I drew out because before I got digital, I was always drawing, doodling, sketching. And the guy's like, "What do you want me to do with this?" And I was like, "Well, I need a patch. I need a custom patch, man. I need 50 patches." He's like, "I can't do anything with this. It's a piece of paper." And I was like, "So what do you need?" He's like, "I need a digital file." Prior to this, I had no Photoshop experience. I had no Illustrator experience. I had no digital experience. I was just like, whatever, but I draw all my stuff. Okay. I leave. I came home and bought a laptop.
There is no obstacle that can stand in his way.
I came home and I bought a laptop. This was January 7th of last year. And I got that, or not January, this is April, January 7th, I'm sorry. And I got my laptop the 18th of January. I got those patches made by March.
2 months later, you had your patches.
Right. So, but I'm saying that to say that instead of like
being like, oh, okay, you can't do anything with this.
Right.
You know what? My dream's been shot down.
Right.
Now let me figure out something else to do with my life. Yeah.
I found, I took what he told me and I got better from it.
Yes.
He's like, I need a digital file. So from that point, I needed to learn how to.
What's a digital file and how do you make one?
Right. I needed to learn that. And still to this day, I'm not the best graphic designer, but I know how to design to make what I want to make and make what I need to make for my clients to this day now. So, and that was another adjustment I had to make too, was just like getting my mindset switched from like making clothes for like a creative standpoint and putting it out to sell as opposed to creating for what the customer may want.
Yeah,
right?
Because it's different styles and stuff.
Right, 100%. Because I'm creating for just like myself at some point. Like if people want to buy it and wear it, cool. You want to support my brand, cool. But when you're designing for other people, you're essentially taking what they're telling you and bringing it to life. So it's like those are the little nuances too that I had to really work on and be better at. Because prior to that, I was a maintenance mechanic. So I was like, I'm in a pit all day. I don't work with people.
Yep.
I honestly didn't care to work with people. I wasn't really like too personable, to be honest. I was just like, let me do my time. Let me get out of here. Let me get my paycheck. Let me do whatever, take care of whatever. So like I'm still telling myself every day I deal with those like haggling customers. Customers are always right. Customers are always right. Always.
Even when they're so wrong.
Those are, for sure. Those are things that I'm navigating now to this day. Is just the customers and dealing with different people and different personalities. And some people, might like your artistic style. Some people don't like your artistic style. Some people have a lot to say. Some people don't have anything to say, and they want you to read their mind on what they want, right? So like,
I do.
So it's always like just finding that fine line to just navigating the proper way and just carrying yourself with a certain level of positivity and an open mind, to be able to get through whatever comes your way. And I would say that those are the things that I'm learning as of the present day the most. Those are where my lessons are taught the most. But for the most part, I just like to just stay grounded and stay focused on what I'm doing, which is just making clothes, man.
Yeah.
I just like making clothes. I just like being creative. I actually mentioned to Kimberly that I know your son anywhere but here.
Yeah.
I have actually set up out here before on one
You come out here to the events?
one of your guys' events.
Nice.
They're super cool, man. And I notice what they're doing, and what they're doing is good for the area because the area just needs more entrepreneurs that are confident to not just like, hey, I'm here for a short time because I'm just interested.
Yeah, let me just try this out because everybody's doing
but
it.
I'm here. I'm here. This is what I'm doing. And this is what I'm doing. I'm rocking out. There's nothing that's about to sway me. There's nothing that's knocking me off my pivot. And that's what I see in their group of peers is like they're driven. They're going for it, and they know exactly what they want, which is super cool, man. Because I think the more of that, the better. Because I mean, it's pretty small here. We all know our younger generations can be pretty wicked. You know what I'm saying? Out here,
it's the goal.
Right. It can.
It's the goal.
It can be pretty wicked. So to see like a young group of young men just have their head so straight, and know what they want, it's beautiful. It's awesome to watch. And thank you to them too for allowing me to be at their events and on their platforms. And
shout out anywhere but here.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to those guys and allowing a platform to be here, because I could honestly say prior to them, I don't think any creatives really had a platform to display their work. I've been here quite a while. I'm 32, so like I've seen a lot come and go. I've been part of the people to come and go. Like, so I've been in the clothing space since 2014. So there's not too many blank t-shirt businesses I haven't worked with. I've worked with print shops all the way to the Bay Area, all the way down to LA. I'm really cemented within the clothing space, and a lot of the brands around here locally, they seek information from myself, and which is cool. So I'm only saying that to say, like, I've seen the transformation. I was telling Kimberly out front, like, I've seen the transformation go from like a everyday 40 to 60 hour worker every day of the week, hardworking family, to the transition of more entrepreneurial spirits in the Central Valley, more small businesses, more people willing to be entrepreneurs, which is amazing.
I love it.
I love it as well. It just, the smaller things is what I pay attention to. So it's like, there's still that little fine line where it's that competitive edge, I feel like, where because there's times where I offer my services, and then there's like the smaller companies would rather work with bigger businesses, is how I kind of feel.
Right.
And I feel like in a space like ours, in a city like ours, that we more so should work within, right? Like, sort of, because like,
shop local. We need to all work together. We're here as a community. Let's help each other. Let's build each other up. Help 100%. Build each other up. Be there for each 100%. Other. You catch me when I fall, and I'm going to catch you too. Like, what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, one little city I really like is Exeter. Because I go to this coffee shop out there, and I always ask them to, because I've tried to get their business, and they're like, no, we have a print shop we work with, and we've been working with them for over 23 years. And I love that. Because you can talk to some businesses here and they're everywhere. We get close from here, we get close from here, we get close from here. And what I've noticed is a lot of them are not really too local. I'm not too sure why, but those are little nuances that I pay attention to, because I like to know the whys. Because the whys, then from there you kind of go seek out the answers, right? So that's the only thing that I see that I'm like, man, we have to get over that hump. And then I feel like as a city of entrepreneurs, we'll all be that much better.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that I would like to get past, is that like hump where everyone understands that, hey, just because you're in the screen printing or I'm in embroidery and you're in embroidery, like, our business is not at competition. We're in the same field. That's cool, whatever. But we can still have, conversations that benefit both of our businesses. We can still have resources that are good for you, and we can still, there's no enviness. There's no like, oh, well, I do the same thing in this business. Well, I don't connect well with this business because we share the same service, right? Like that's a lot of the small town, like crab in the buckets mentality. And that's what I see out here.
Let's break that.
Right, and that's what, that's what I would
Let's
like.
all come together.
Right, and that's what I would like is for that to be not a thing, right? And I understand that those kind of things take time, and not everyone's as open-minded to those things as others, which is okay. It's not a big deal. It is what it is.
And those people probably have some sort of like they're in trauma response. Like maybe somebody stabbed them in the back before, or you know what I mean? To where they're like, I'm not ever going to let that happen to me again.
And it goes to being having an open mind, enough to look past whatever experiences that make you react a certain way to certain things. But for me, because like I have this idea to have like entrepreneur meetups, right? Like meet and greets where we come together.
So we'll have to keep in touch because we're having them come up.
Yeah,
we're starting that.
We need it.
Yeah, we do.
It's something that is needed here because, like I said, we all have to take that first step to not saying, hey, that's my competitor. No, that's my peer.
Absolutely,
right? That's not my competitor. That's my peer. What he does with his business is not something on my thought process. I just hope it's doing well, right?
Yes.
Like, I don't think about, like, I have plenty of buddies that I worked with prior to even being in this field that are in the screen printing and embroidery field, and we're still buddies. We don't even, we don't talk business when we're together. We don't talk, like, we might talk about certain blanks, we might talk about certain things, but we're not talking about pricing and the services we're offering, all that stuff. Why? Because it doesn't matter. We're here as a friendship and our businesses are not going to, get in the middle of those things. And I feel like I've also seen that, where it's business becomes in the middle of a relationship, and it's like, that ain't cool. It's so it's this crabs in the buckets mentality that I feel like we have to, as a whole, have to get over that and be better as entrepreneurs because we all can help each other in some way, shape, or form. Iron sharpens iron. I remember being that guy asking so many questions in so many people's Instagrams and DMs and
that's okay.
And getting no responses and getting left on red. And I'm just like, man, cool. But me being me, I'm like, all right, well, I'll just figure it out anyways. I was just asking in hopes that, thinking, we were in third grade together, bro, you would give me some sort of information, right?
And that's sad. They should have answered that. Come on, so people, like, let's be better. We got to be there for each other.
So like, but that's why it helps me be like an open book.
And you're not going to be that. All we can do is control ourselves. And
it helps me be like an open
send
book.
out that ripple effect. Yes.
I have, I apologize.
It's okay. Go ahead. Answer it. Leave me alone.
I don't need to answer. I have plenty of times where like people DM me and like they're not purchasing nothing. They're not asking for a service. They're simply just asking where to find something. And I don't have a problem with telling you those things. And I don't have a problem with sharing the information. And you know what? I don't even have a problem getting it for you because I can get those things for you. Right?
Yes.
So, like, I've ran into that, and I believe that's sometimes the Lord, right? Like, I'm gonna put you in this situation. I'll allow you to be the vessel, right?
Yes.
And which, it's a beautiful thing because trials you're going through them for a reason. You don't know right then and there what that reason is, but eventually, if you pay attention enough, you'll know what that reason is for. And I feel like that's what my reason of all of them, and it goes back to why I'm building my brand. No, I was always constantly rejected in this field, always from 2014 to right now. So it put me in that situation where I had to learn what I had to learn. So now I know basically any and every blank on the market. Now I know cutting. So now I know I can contact a manufacturer and get whatever I want made, and I can direct someone to do those things too, or I can make you a whole order in my kitchen. What do you want to do? I can provide a quality service at a very affordable price,
and mentoring,
right? And I can help someone get what they need, right? And that part is the part that's more fulfilling than anything in the whole process. Is helping somebody go from A to Z is super sick. That's my favorite part of the process. Is just getting you from here to there is the coolest part, and there's no monetary gains involved. That's cool. That's the most beautiful part of the process. Now, don't get me wrong, we all like to get paid, right? We'd be lying if we say we didn't. We all have to get paid. We all have families to take care of. We all have to. That's a byproduct of offering a quality service. I read something in the book that said, he who offers, or he will get compensated for the quality and service he offers. It's in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
That right there changed a lot of how I look and offer my service, because there's times where like I might get a pattern with like, I don't know, 40, 50,000 stitches, but I want to work with this person. So the monetary part, the money is not even a factor in this transaction at all. And I've taken jobs like that so many times, because every job I take is not strictly based off of what I can get financially out of it. A lot of the time is like, I just want to build this relationship with you.
Yes.
And a lot of the time is like, I just want to get, my foot in the door. I remember working with a cannabis company. That was my first cannabis company. I actually took a major loss on that. And I never did a pattern with over 60,000 stitches. That was my first one. I was legitimately at one of my embroidery machines for like 2 hours each hoodie, but I didn't.
Oh, wow.
It didn't bother me.
What's a usual stitch? Like what is
these are 30,000. These are 31,000 stitches each. So like this is a hour on the machine.
Okay, for a shirt.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
For a shirt. Yeah. On top of cleanup, I actually left one with backing. So cleanup is underneath here. There's backing underneath
and you have to take all that off.
Yeah. You can hear that, and you have to clean all that out. So that's neat. That's a story for another time. That's just part of the production. It's a hassle, but it's part of the job, and it's part of the service that we offer. But it gets like kind of how can I say that? The service itself is very tedious, but at the end of it, it's so sick.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like there's a lot of little things that go into embroidery that is really overlooked in a sense, because it just looks like the machine's doing the work. Right. But you have to know how to digitize. You have to know push and pull compensations for your registrations to not, be messed up, and everything else. You have to understand the backings of it and what goes back on the back of it, because you got to think it's a needle puncturing a piece of cotton. To put it in the simplest terms, that's basically what's going on. So all the backing is super important. All the stuff that goes into embroidery is super important. So it's
super clean lines. I'll tell you that, because I've seen a lot of embroidered stuff, and it's super clean lines, super sharp.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And that all goes into the digitizing, the hooping, and the backing. So those three things are done right, then you should get a quality product. But that just goes back to, like I was stating, it's just like I do things based off quality of work. Sometimes the monetary gains are not like top of mind. Well, not sometimes, all the time. What's top of mind is the customer's satisfaction. And I like to say I like them to be overly satisfied, right? Like as long as they're satisfied, then I'm good with whatever comes out of that business relationship. Now, like I said, everyone has to make money, right? That's the obvious thing. So no, embroidery is not the most affordable garment decorating option out there, I guess. But if you want like a nicer, cleaner look, a more elegant look, then the only option
long
you can go,
lasting,
and
longer
long lasting.
It's never going to fade away. It's
Right,
never going to
right,
wash off.
right. Because I mean, with all the other methods, you deal with that. And that's something that's funny you say that, because I always talk to my customers, because I offer direct to film printing as well, which is basically what this is. This is another shirt that I designed, rest in peace to Kobe. But this is direct to film. This is not screen printed, right? So with direct to film, screen print, DTG, whatever, the DTG, you might deal with fading. Screen printing, you might deal with cracking. Direct to film, you might deal with cracking as well. So there's no cracking that's going to happen with this ever. So that's why I love to offer this service, and it's just a fun thing too, because you get to work with so many like-minded people, right? You get to work with so many people that already are within like a creative realm. So you get to just bounce ideas off each other. You get to collaborate on what they might like, what you don't like, and it's just like a really cool process. Like this is a basketball team out in LA, and they just contacted me on social media about, I don't know, I've been friends with one of the guys for a little while that introduced me to another one of the guys that contacted me on Instagram, and he's like, hey, my buddy recommended it. Can you do some work? Right on, let's knock it out. So he kind of gave me the gist of what he wanted. It's a real simple font, middle chest, and I'm like, all right, cool, right, let's do it. And he's like, well, I don't know what colors I want. I'm like, all right, well, I see your basketball jersey is this color. Would you like the fill is the purple, stroke the green? Just kind of threw out those ideas to him, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of
pops.
Right, and that's the process, and that I'm referring to is like just the creative process of the whole thing is the funnest part, because you get to understand what the customer wants, and then when you deliver it, it's even better.
Yeah.
Right, because the look on
they have
face,
a kind of an idea of what it's probably going to look like, and then it's like, oh my god.
When it's there, it's like the look on their face. It's priceless. And that, I think that just goes back to helping people. Like I think naturally I like to help people. I also do like little charities. I did backpacks last year with Coach Danny from Farmersville. He's a boxing coach, and Big Brother Big Sister, which is they're a pretty big organization. Have you heard of
for
them?
sure. Yes.
So Diana, she's like superwoman. I've only had phone conversations with her, but she's, I believe, the CEO or someone really high up there. She's amazing. She helped us get 250 backpacks for Farmersville.
Oh.
Yeah, she's amazing. And her whole team, it was super sick, because we had a summer bash last year, back to school, and Big Brother Big Sisters helped, and Coach Danny, their community did an amazing job. So I think that's why I enjoy like just working and helping people so much, because naturally I just like to do those kind of things.
It's just it's who you are.
Right. I'm from a pretty poverty stricken background. So like when it comes to like any kids that have less, or less than what I may have at the time, I'm always willing to give it. Right. Yeah. Like that's just kind of like my mindset on that situation. And I like to say you can let like your past and your future, or your past dictate like your future decisions, but I kind of like feed and thrive off of those.
I understand completely. In my past, and absolutely.
I channel it to be better.
To be better, yes.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
You can allow it to, like for a while I did allow it to make some bad decisions, because I had some, weird emotions. I don't know how to even word it, but it was just so many negative things that, was going on. But I learned throughout all of those years and all of that time, where it's like, there's so much more I can be doing because of those experiences. And there's so much more that I can offer because of those experiences. And when I had that shift in my mindset, then I think that's when I found so much happiness in just even having conversations with the kids that I can relate with and relate to, which are the foster kids and kids in group homes, because that's where I was at as a child. So I relate to those kids in a very authentic way. So I went prior to that event, we had another event where we gave actually the backpacks to Big Brother, Big Sister. So the irony in that was actually really crazy, because when I told her, like, hey, we actually donated to you guys a year and a half prior to me actually getting on the phone with you. Would you guys mind donating to us? And she's like, wait, who are you? And I was like, my name is Ivory Easley. And like, we had a very brief conversation. She's like, okay, cool. Give me 1 second and I'll call you back within the next hour, if that's okay. And I was like, all right, cool. Because, like I said, I've only had phone conversations. I was literally just calling people because I needed to get that event done. That was something I needed to do, because it's just like those kids need things, right? Like, it was something that needed to be done. And it's still something that I want to build on, right? Because it needs to be done. I think that whole reform needs to happen, but it's not going to happen unless like little things like
a lot of pieces of the puzzle.
Right. Little things need to happen before the bigger picture gets addressed.
Yeah. So many different, it's like little things, but also the little connections of people
100%.
That need to be,
100%. And I was actually one of those kids before, like, after all of the wild experiences I had in the foster system, I actually was blessed enough to get a foster mom that actually gave a crap about me, which is Diana. She was an amazing lady. Still have contact with her, still call her my mom. And so there's good moms in that system, 100%. There's good families in that system, but the other 70%, I would say, or vast majority, maybe more, it's trash.
They're just doing it for the check,
and it's not good by no means. So like, that's just like one mission for myself, that no matter like all of my resources that I'm blessed and fortunate with as I grow as an owner in business and entrepreneurship, I'll put more towards that. That's my end game. That's my battle, I like to call it. That's
your final boss.
Right. That's my final thing that I'm going to basically make a dent in. I can't.
So you have to do all of this because you have to build such a foundation, because you have such huge goals. Right. The end goals. Yeah.
That foundation is called Helping Hands 559. That's where I kind of do all of those.
What is it called?
Helping Hands 559.
I think we're twins in some past life. Mine is Heartful Hands. Heartful Hands. Cool. And I don't know if you've noticed, you've made me cry like 4 times already. Yeah. They literally had to bring me tissue. Yeah. Like, this is amazing.
I'm happy to be here. I'm thankful to be here. I'm very grateful that you guys called, invited me. It was crazy because like whenever I got the call, I was like, how did you find me? Because there's all the time where I'm out in the city passing out business cards, trying to offer my service and going everywhere to like pass out flyers, business cards, leave things in businesses and stuff. So like I didn't think, I thought maybe someone would need some polos embroidered or something before a podcast. But it was super cool because, like I said before we started, this is my first time. I've never been on
interviewed
a set like
or
this
anything.
No, I haven't. A million people have told me like my story is interesting. That's cool,
I'm really glad that we get to share that.
But like for me, I kind of just like, it's my life, so it's not really that like
interesting to you.
Like,
it's nothing
I had to
to
go
you.
through it all.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, it's like, how can I use all that as like
inspiration?
That, but like some sort of fuel to my fire, some kind of sort of ammo, right? Like, how can I use that? That's my reaction to it all.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, I do kind of sit sometimes, and I'm just like, golly, bro, you made it through that. Because there's like, it's a lot. It is a lot, but at the end of the day, it's like you're never gonna get more than what you can eat or bite off or whatever that saying is. You're
absolutely.
Never,
God's not going to give you more than you can handle.
Never. So it was all for a reason, right? And that's where I'm at in my life now. It's like I don't ever let it dictate anything I'm doing, but I just like to know the whys of everything. Like that's my biggest thing is because then I can attack whatever I need to. And I
Absolutely.
like to be relentless. When I do things, I need the information so I can implement. Right.
Yeah.
Because information without implementation is nothing. You have nothing. You literally have nothing but a thought. So once I can figure out the why, gather my data, my information, then I can attack and I can go head on without any kind of second guessing.
Yeah.
I can be relentless as I want, you know. And
I love that.
I'm a dog. That's just how I have to be. I had to grow up that way, right?
Yep. I get it.
And that's like I said, I've been at this thing since 2014. Now, as far as the service-based part of it, I started that in July 18th, 2023, and we've been rocking out. But as far as selling clothes and being in the clothing space, we've been here since 2014, and this is where I'm going to be at, right? And I think with that mindset, that just represents who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simplest way I can put it. Because life is not easy. Life is not easy. That's one thing I tell my kids all the time, no matter how, like my son is 7 months, and I tell him all the time, when you fail, you're going to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
You're brave, you're smart, you're a leader. And I tell him all the time. Same thing with my daughter. I tell her, you're beautiful, you're brave, you're smart before she goes to bed. When she's dropped off at school, the same thing, because you have to instill confidence in them. So whenever they get to a certain point, they can say to themselves, like, I got this, I'm good. Yeah. You know, we might bend, we're not about to break.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's like Bruce Lee. He's like, just be water, you know, because there's times where it's gonna get wicked, and you're not gonna have a response for it in that moment. But as long as you stay disciplined to your characteristics in that moment, you'll find the answer you need, right? And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. Is like, because I'm in unfamiliar territory. Like I said, I had to make a whole mindset shift. I had to say, okay, cool, I'm not selling no merch anymore. To like, I'm selling a service. So I had to completely change how I did things, how I market, how I do things on a daily. As far as, you know, now I'm not trying to sell you on a release. I'm trying to sell you on a service that I provide. So I'm more interested in what you need as opposed to what I'm putting out. Right? So those are all the things that I'm still trying to kind of navigate and figure out. Like, I'm a first generation, everything in my family. My family, I love them to death, but it's like I come from drug dealers and gangbangers, you know, and that's just what it is. So I think being from that world is like, you have a different outlook on things, and you want to do things differently because of the things that you've seen and you've experienced, but you just don't know how.
Absolutely, because you've never seen it. You don't even know what it looks like, what it feels like, what anything about it.
And you've never been exposed to it. I like to think like you can't unsee things, right? So once you see the power in something, it's there.
Yes.
You can't unsee what you just seen. So I think for me was my very first clothing line drop in 2014. I was in Porterville, going to Porterville College, playing basketball, and I sold out of a whole release without like any kind of social media, without posting clothes, without anything. I just bought some clothes and designed some stuff that I made, bought some blanks, got them printed, and I sold it all. And I was just like, huh. Okay.
I think I can do this.
Yeah, I was just like, I think I can do this for sure. But I think for me, I didn't know how to. I think it goes back to experience, and what you've seen. What you haven't seen is like, if I had the smallest person that understood anything of what I was doing at the time, I'd probably have a 6-figure brand for sure.
But you're figuring it out.
But I'm figuring it out as you go. So you bump your head here, you bump your head here, you bump your head here, you go learn this, you go learn that, and you acquire an amount of skills over a span of time that qualifies you for what you thought you were ready for at that time, right? And that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like I have acquired all these skills from that point to then from where we're at now. So now I'm working towards what I feel like I deserve, right? But I was
you know your worth
right
now,
and
it's
even then I kind of had an idea, but I just didn't understand like the how, right? And that's what got us to where we're at now, is like talking about the why and the how. Is like I knew what like why I wanted to sell clothes, because I just sold out of all this stuff. Like there's something here, but how am I going to do it again? How am I going to keep doing this? How are we going to make this actual legitimate business? And I'm still trying to figure it out. To be completely honest with you, that's why I'm so amazed by all the entrepreneurs now and the younger generation up underneath us, how they have it so figured out, right? Because it's like it's not an easy field by no means. Like,
no, it's not.
A lot of people think like make a brand, make some social media posts, and we're selling out. It's that's not what it is.
But that's why a lot of people think that they can do it. They go through the motions and then they're gone in a couple of months.
Right.
You know, maybe a year, but it just doesn't last, because they're just trying to do what they think everybody's doing.
Right.
And they're not doing it because I love making clothes, or I love designing. I'm an artist. I'm a creative mind, and let me do something with it. They're following someone else's path.
Right.
When we all have our own. We all have our own talents. We all have our own gifts. And one thing I believe is our gifts are not for ourselves. Our gifts are to share. And view the fact that you're mentoring people, the fact that you were brought up in a way that a lot of people are, and we take what we see and we either we let that mold us into that junk that we were raised in, or we see that and we're like, we will never go down that road. And you've taken the right path. You're taking the right steps. All you want to do is help people, and I love that. This is a beautiful story.
Thank you.
It's a very beautiful story. I'm honored that I got to sit and talk with you.
Likewise.
I'm so honored for that. First off, we got so off track that we're not even letting them know where they can find you to get these clothes. But it's A-okay, because it's great. I love hearing everything that you had to say, and the world needs to hear how you can just knock it out of the way. Anything that's coming in trying to stop you, or all the thoughts, the bad thoughts, it doesn't have to, you don't have to give into that.
No, you don't. And I know mental health is like a huge thing.
Absolutely.
Right now, right? And I feel like I myself am a victim of it 100%.
Yep.
But I think early in like 16, 17, I had stopped. Like there was a doctor that was just giving me all sorts of crap, right? And I was just like, dude, chill.
The doctor was medicating you?
We're not doing this no more.
Yeah.
So like, I took on that journey, like, just, I guess you would say cold turkey, right? Like there's like, so I'm only saying that to say that I've had that journey in that too. So like those battles that people take on in that by yourself, just know you're going to be okay. I've had my darkest times where I'm questioning myself, where I don't understand my full like direction in which I'm going. I didn't understand a lot of what was going on. I was questioning myself. I was super depressed. I didn't see an end goal. Just know there'll be one. Stay focused, stay driven, and lean into your why. That's what helped me get through those things. That's what helped me get through some of the darkest times that I went through. Just understanding who I was too, and clinging on to my why, and understanding that the experiences don't always last forever. It might feel like it is. It might feel like dang, this is not. I don't see the end of this tunnel. But
this too shall pass.
It will. It will. It 100% will. So if whoever sees this and listens and gets to this part, then I like to just say, just stay down and just just keep grinding and keep a open mind, keep a positive outlook, and even when you have your dark days, stay more positive, man.
Yeah.
Think more positive things. Think about the things that you could be grateful for in those negative situations. Think about the things that you have in those negative situations. The smallest things it could be. Just be grateful for them, because
Yes.
those will be the things that, like, at the end of it, you'll be like, man, that got me through. That those will be. It might seem so minute of something that you're holding on and being grateful for at the time, but it's really that's really going to be the biggest thing that got you through at the end of it, right? But at the
Absolutely.
time when you're looking at it, you're like, man, all right, whatever.
But all the
Cool.
lessons that were learned in that.
Right.
Yes.
So that's really
Yes.
that, like, it's always the part that you're overlooking that's going to be your biggest lesson.
Yes.
So take everything, all of it as the same. Take it all in. Like, treat every situation and cater to everything as, like, head on, and don't run from anything. Don't not run from anything. Just take it head on, and you're gonna find your solutions within the problems. 100%.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's where I've learned to thrive at. When I invite problems. I don't run from my problems. I used to be really bad at that, and then I used to realize, like, dang, why am I still dealing with something from so long ago, right? Because I didn't deal with it.
Yeah.
So I run to my problems so that way I can get them over with and move forward. Because if not, you're gonna cause yourself more down the line than what you would in that moment. So just keep grinding, man. Stay focused, and just, put your best foot forward daily and stay positive is always my. And it's easier said than done. Like a lot of things that we've talked about, it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
But I think, like, I'm big on the why. I'm big on that. I'm here. Like, that's my biggest thing.
Helps you stay focused.
Yeah, because I mean, you get so carried away with things. You have to have something that's gonna bring you back, like, right here, and keep your focus and you're away from all the distractions that there is and that there will be. So I think when you understand what's driving you, then when you hit those dark times, when you hit those bad moments, then it's a little bit easier to keep your focus in those times, because you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, what's getting you through it. So I would just say cling. I like to say cling on to it, cling to your why at all times, because that's what honestly helps me get through. Like I said, I'm a first generation everything in my family. So my next goal is to just be. I want freedom. Like, I'm not after. There's no, like, people always ask me, what are you after? Freedom. I want. There obviously there's a generational curse that I'm chasing to break. Obviously, that's my
I was
main
just
goal.
gonna say you're breaking generational curses.
But I want freedom. Now, whatever that comes along with, when I get there,
Then you'll
I'll
know.
be able to break that down and see what that all consists of.
Yeah.
Because right now I've never experienced it, so I can't tell you something I've never experienced.
You don't even know what you're wanting to be free from.
Right.
Yes.
I just know that there's freedom is what I'm chasing, whether, because, life is life. You got debts, you got financial stuff that you're dealing with, you got whatever you dealt with in your past that you may have let get to your future. So financial freedom is what I'm chasing, and to, secure my next generation's future is my only goal.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I'm working towards. Anything else outside of that doesn't even matter. Yeah, and that's basically where I'm at with life. Took a while to get there, but I think you find your purpose at when I don't know if the people that will hear this, if they're believers, but I am.
Absolutely.
I'd be I would say, dumb to get through all the things that I've been through and not believe that God didn't get me through it.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you, have you always been a faithful man? Is this?
I haven't always had the best relationship with him. I've always kind of been like the person that kind of just prays to himself and just, wake up. Thank you for, another day. Thank you, Father God, for another day. Thank you for, I try to always be thankful with him. I don't always want to be the person that's coming to him during the bad times. I want to thank him during the good times too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for a long period of my life, I have, but for a while I did lose a relationship with him. But then I look back, and those were some tough times too. But it makes sense with why it was tougher.
Yes.
So now, to this present day, in the last few years, I've wanted a better relationship with him. I've wanted a deeper relationship with him. So yeah, I am a believer. I walk with him. I am a man of faith, and my household is too. So with that being said, it's like everything I do is with good intentions and with the with my Father God in mind. Of how He would want me to carry myself. And respond to situations. So that goes back to me being willing to help others. That's because I feel like that's what He would want me to do.
Absolutely.
That's why He put me through those situations, and to learn about all the things that I'm being asked about. That's why I had to learn about it, so I can do those things.
Yes.
Right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I am a believer. I am a man of faith. But have I always been? To answer your question, no. But I think I've always wanted the relationship, right? I wasn't aware of how to have one. But now I'm also aware of that you just have it.
Absolutely.
As long as you want
He's
it,
just
He's
there. Yeah.
Right?
Yes. He has that relationship with you,
no
even when you don't even know, even when you're not there yet.
So now that I do have a relationship with him, I operate my daily operations are just waking up, praying, and then getting to work. And I thank Him for everything, because like I said, I would have to be a little dumb, a little naive to go through all the things that I did and not think that He wasn't with me, right? So yeah, to answer your question, definitely I am. And I make all my decisions now based off whether it's good for my family or whether this is what He wants me to be doing.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's I guess you could say the garment guy.
Yeah, that's him.
In that conversation.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Okay, so we still haven't even told them where they can find your clothes.
Right.
What is your Instagram? Where can they find you?
My Instagram is the _garment guy _ TikTok, same thing, the _garment guy _ what else? We got the Square site, which is my site where you can order.
Oh, nice.
Which is
your website?
The garment guy .square. I definitely got to make that a lot easier for people to understand and be able to find me. But most of the time I'm on all the social media platforms. You could definitely shoot a DM or get a hold of me, and then we can work, get whatever you need done, and at I like to say, a quality and affordable, and overall you guys will be satisfied for sure.
Absolutely. And Helpful Hands 559.
Helping Hands 559 is my nonprofit organization, and we just like to do charities, man. We like to help the less fortunate. We really aim towards helping the foster care community and helping the kids. That's where we target, and that's what the community we like to really be aggressive with.
Yes.
We've done some homeless events as well. Like last August, I did like 4 boxes of clothes, and I just went around the oval, and I went over on the north side and gave a bunch of the homeless some socks and some shirts and stuff. I'm actually going to do that again here pretty soon, because what I like to do as well is like I work with apparel, so I'm always messing up shirts, messing up hats. I don't throw it away. I'm always messing up hoodies. I don't throw any of that stuff away. I usually save totes of it all for amount of time, however long I save it is however long, and I'll just go give it away.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so if you guys, I know your son's in the apparel industry, so if there's any blanks that you guys have or any misprints.
Yeah, I know.
Any mess ups.
Michael does that too, and I'm thinking of all the extra family reunion shirts.
Yeah.
There's totes of
and
them.
trust me, they'll take it. They're not like, I've had my incidences where, some of them, they look at like what's on the shirt and they're like, no, I don't want this, but for the most part, they're all open. They're just like, give me that. And right now it's really cold. So we like to give them hoodies and blankets and sweaters and socks. Socks is a big thing. Socks is huge.
Shoes.
And they'll ask you for socks before a hoodie. I've noticed that, especially after the summer, because a lot of them have feet burns. So they want to cover their feet. One of them had told me whenever their feet are burned like that, it hurts more in the winter because of the blisters and the scabs and like
they chap up,
it leaves, and then it gets cold, so their feet gets cracky. So I'm like, God dang, the amount of pain they're in, bro. So like around this time is kind of like when I like to help them and get them some of the things that they need. I also have a buddy in Tulare. He feeds the baseball park every Friday on the west side. He feeds the baseball park every Friday. He does whatever he could. Last Friday he did spaghetti. So like I just like that's just something that we just do just because it's our community. If we don't care about it, who is? You know what I mean? Like we don't need politicians to do anything for us. It's our community. We can do it. We just gotta have the will to do so and the want to do it, right? Like that's the only thing that it comes down to is like, and a lot of the things like I just said, I'm saving clothes over a span of time. That's costing nobody nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't cost anything.
It's just there.
Just get up and do it, right? Like, and I have buddies within the same field. I'll hit them up too. Hey, bro, how many blanks do you have over there? How many misprints do you have? How many shirts have you messed up over the last, I don't know, month or two that you have? Oh, I have this. You can come pick it up. Cool. Like my buddy out in Goshen, he's one of my first people I hit him up. He's the owner of Supreme Screen Printing. Shout out to my man Adrian. That's my guy right there. AJ. He is always one of the first ones. It's like, yo, I got 200 hoodies, bro. Yo,
they probably are used to now they save them for you, huh?
Right.
Like they just set them aside for you.
Or they'll shoot me a message like, hey, I have this, or hey, I have that, or like, I've gotten random cash apps too, where it's like, hey, here, because I have a cash app for it, so people will just randomly, hey, here, I wanted to donate to
Helping Hands 559. If you want to get involved, if there's any way that you want to help them, donations, what's the cash app? Is it just the Helping Hands 559?
It's the Helping Hands 559. Same thing as the Instagram, Helping Hands 559.
Look them up, get involved, get them some stuff. If you have extra clothes hanging around, get a hold of them. And
extra clothes, extra anything. Bags, extra anything. We're not, if you don't want to do donations, I understand it's hard out, but if you have any extra clothes that don't fit
everyone's got stuff laying around. We're going from winter to summer 100%. And from summer to winter. So they're putting stuff away. There's things that, I haven't even touched this in 3 years. The kids go from this 100%. Age to that age. They got to get new clothes every year. And
that's great that you said that too, the kids, because it's like a lot of times when we do these events, we only think about the adults.
Yes,
but
there's so many.
There's been so many times where I'm helping the adults and they have a kid with them or they have a little one with them, and we don't have nothing for them. So if there's any kind of kids that are transitioning in age and there's kid clothes that can be donated, we're open to that. We're actually we were a little bit late on the toy drive this year. That was a goal of ours, but I personally got tied up into some business stuff that I had to take care of prior. That was first and foremost, but we definitely want to do a but we're gonna start focusing on another back to school event of January.
For the next year?
So as when Christmas is over and holiday and everyone's kind of take a step back from holiday season, then we want to start focusing on another summer, what we call a summer bash, because we had one this year. So we wanted to start focusing on our second annual summer bash. And what that consists of is we would like to try to get at least 200 to 300 backpacks. We had barbers out last year. We had bounce house. We had activities out. So we're gonna try to do the same thing again this year.
Absolutely.
Which like I said, it's a team effort. It's definitely, we did it in Farmers Road last year, but we had a huge group of kids from Visalia be commuted out there. So we would like to do the same thing, but here in Visalia.
Absolutely. I would love to help you
Right.
however I can. I went
100%.
to all the way to, I think it was like Monterey
Okay.
or something like that, and did something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, right
Yeah,
here,
no,
there's so
we
many
gotta do
kids
it
here
here
that need
too.
it.
What I ran into with the problem here was a city hall thing. So maybe if there is a group of like-minded people with the
Absolutely. We're
same
going to
goal,
make it
then we
happen.
can make it happen.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing.
I'm coming for you,
Yeah,
city.
yeah, that's amazing. Because like I said,
We're going to make it happen.
that was what I ran into, was just a city issues with the city hall not approving that for, or not approving the location, the park that we needed to have the event. So
I have a bone to pick. Why would you want to stop something like that?
Right.
We're changing that.
Right. So,
We're changing that.
We gotta, like I said, with a group of like-minded people, I think that's definitely a wall that could be kicked down.
Absolutely.
And then from there, it's just about doing it.
Yep.
But it's definitely something that we're gonna gear up and do again, and have our second annual one, because it's one. Like I said, I like to build on what I do.
Yes.
I don't like to just kind of do things and then it's kind of just idle.
Yeah.
There. Like, I want to build on what I got started. So that's kind of the idea after Christmas break, after everyone's kind of, because we wanted, like I said, to do a toy drive, but just didn't have enough resources around this time of the year. And a lot of around this time of the year, people are with their family, which I understand. And it's
and this time's a little bit harder for people too at the same time.
I was just literally about to hit that on the head.
Times
too.
are tough right now.
It's a little bit different because the economy that we're all in right now. So it's a little bit different of a Christmas time, right?
It's really tough for everybody right now.
Super tough for everybody. So I thought it would be best not to, right? Like, it would just, like, obviously it's an idea, it's something that we want to do, but it's probably just, we wouldn't get the best result for the kids that need the stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Because it goes back to what was just stated.
With it being rushed and stuff, and then with everybody already having their own problems, it's you want to give them the best. Yeah, 100%. of what
the best result that we can, right? And so I feel like with all this stuff in the mix, then there's just no way we could give them a good result. Like, we could give them a result, but not. I don't think it would be a result that we would want, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And I don't even think it's something that we can build on. So if there's nothing that I don't see that can be built on, then it's probably better to game plan a better approach to it. Yeah. So that way we can get them everything that they need for the time, right? And that's the goal when I do those charity things, is like, that's the lens I'm looking at it from, is, okay, how can we make it best for the kids that we're providing this for, right? And then we could find all the answers. So yeah, Helping Hands 559 and the Garment Guy, those are the things that my time is consisted of.
That's who you are.
Yeah. That's what I got going on.
Yes. This was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I got to have you back in. We got to talk some more. I'm sure there's so much still to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much for the community that can be done as well.
No, 100%. It just takes a couple people that have the same like-minded. Yeah. And the same goal, and there's not too much that they can't do.
Absolutely.
That's something I read in I like to read a lot. It says the art of mastermind. It's actually a law of nature. Is when three or more things come together and work within harmony to accomplish one goal. It's the art of mastermind. And it's kind of like proven that when done properly, there's not too many tasks that won't get done. So in my mind, it just takes a couple people that share that same vision and want to get that goal accomplished, and I think it can be done for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ivory.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yes, you are awesome. Check him out, you guys. The Garment Guy, the Helping Hands 559. Thank you guys so much. This was a treat.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.